Hi everyone, it's April. I've got a book haul here for you. Not necessarily a festive book haul, but just a good old-fashioned book haul. 16 books. Grab yourself like some Christmas cookies, a cup of hot chocolate. Let's get into it. Oh my gosh, I can't stop buying books, and I've been very lucky to have received a couple of books. So let's start. We're gonna just dive right into it because my goodness, we'll be here for a while. We're already gonna be here for a while, so get comfy. The first book is a book that was sent to me by the publisher. Penguin Random House Canada sent this to me very kindly. I've just heard nothing but amazing things about Caste. This is The Origins of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson, who wrote The Warmth of Other Suns, which is highly praised. It won the Pulitzer Prize. I haven't read that, but I am very drawn to this book. Oh, it says that this examines the unspoken caste system and how that has shaped America, and how our lives today are still defined by that hierarchy of humans. This dives into the 8 pillars of caste, which are things like divine will and the laws of nature, purity versus pollution, dehumanization, and stigma. I just think I'm going to learn so much about America, about caste systems, and I just cannot wait to dive into this. It's meant to be brilliant. So let's read the first line of Caste and see if it's a 5-star first line. It's harder with nonfiction to become 5-star first lines, but let's see. Part 1, Toxins and the Permafrost and Heat Rising All Around. Chapter 1. In the haunted summer of 2016, an unaccustomed heat wave struck the Siberian tundra on the edge of what the ancients once called the end of the land. Okay, it's not 5 stars because I don't know what's happening. I still so interested in this book, of course. So thank you so much, Penguin Random House Canada. That was really generous of you. And then I've got 2 books from you guys. You guys have spoiled me rotten. I don't know what in the world is happening, but I was very excited about both of these. The first one is from Amber. Amber sent over The Surgeon, and this is the first in a series. You guys know I have been looking for something to replace the Nikki French Frida Klein series. You'll see as we go on, I'm not always succeeding, but I have several series in mind that I want to dive into. Maybe nothing will completely take the place of Frida. I'll do my damnedest though. And this one I heard about, I think from Simon over at Savage Reads. But before I should say what Amber said. She said, enjoy your gift. Love this series, from Amber, a subscriber of your YouTube channel. So, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Amber. I so appreciate this. So this is about a surgeon who slips into women's bedrooms while they're sleeping, and then he murders them. Now, a crime very similar to this took place 2 years ago, but I think that guy is dead. The attacker in those crimes are dead because a survivor was able to somehow fend him off and then actually kill him. So this is some sort of copycat, and we follow 2 detectives, Thomas Moore and Jane Rizzoli, as they try to figure out what's happening with this one. And it just sounds wonderful, and I am so eager to read this. So let's read the first line of The Surgeon. This is the prologue. Today they will find her body. Yes, that is a 5-star first line. I'm interested right away. I need to know more. Sounds so good. Thank you so much, Amber. Oh my gosh. And then Beth. Oh my gosh, Beth, you have spoiled me. Beth got me 2 other books. She got me The Butterfly Garden, the first in a series, and also 13, which is part of a series. I think it's in the middle of a series, but apparently that's the best way to enter into that series. Anyway, she got me another part of the series. I'm so lucky. This is Sweet Pea. And this I heard about from Leanne from Literary Diversions. She raved about this. And it just sounds like so much fun. This is about a serial killer. She's a woman who seems to have a relatively normal life. She has a boyfriend, and does she have a dog? I can't remember, but she's relatively normal, except she also kills people. And she kills people randomly at times, like people who are annoying, who cut people off, and that kind of thing. She develops a kill list, and then she ends up killing people randomly. I'm really excited to read this. It sounds kind of silly, and she sounds a little bit relatable, apparently. So let's read the first line of Sweet Pea. Sunday, December 31st. Number 1. Mrs. Whitaker, neighbor, elderly, kleptomaniac. So it's like the start of a kill list. The first on the list is Mrs. Whitaker. Not a 5-star first line, but it sounds like so much fun. Thank you so much, Beth. And now we have an enormous stack of books that I bought myself. The first I bought from Chapters. I've already read it and I didn't like it, but I'm going to explain what it is. This is Anne Cleeve's The Darkest Evening. This is part of the Vera series. This is book number 9, and you can pop into it. At least I found I popped into this, and like nothing was spoiled from past books in the series. We follow Vera on a winter evening. It is a blizzard, and she is driving in it, and reluctantly driving in it, and she sees a car off of the road with the door open, the driver's door open. The driver is nowhere to be found, but there's a toddler in the back seat, strapped in, alive and well. So she takes the toddler and brings the toddler to a home that she had ties to as a child. So she goes there to, make sure the child is safe and sound. And there's a dead body of a woman on the grounds, and she has to decide like what's going on and dive in along with her other detectives in her team. It was cozy. Anyway, this isn't a review. You can see my review in my November wrap up. I didn't love it. Like, I'm not continuing on. But that said, let's read the first line of chapter 1. Lorna lifted Thomas from his high chair and held him for a moment on her knee. I wouldn't say that's a 5-star first line. Also going to pass this along now. All right. The next 2 books are from the dollar store. Guys, sometimes you can get some good ones, even at the dollar store. These were like $3 each. I always try to like mosey on down that little section in the dollar store because you just never know. So the first one is historical fiction. These are actually both historical fiction. This is The Wartime Sisters by Lydia Cohen Loyman. She's the author of The Two-Family House. I used to own that, and I think I got rid of it because it just wasn't grabbing me. This is about 2 sisters, Ruth and Millie, who have never gotten along, like even as small children, all the way into adulthood. They are separated during World War II. World War II is just on the cusp. I think Ruth moves away to Massachusetts, but Millie is really actually struggling with that move. Even though she's not close to her sister, apparently she is married to a really nasty, nasty man. And she's left behind in Brooklyn with no family and this husband who's just awful. And then fate seems to bring these 2 sisters together again. Fate and tragedy. And an unwelcome figure from the past emerges. And all sorts of secrets come out to light. And it just sounds absolutely wonderful. Yeah, so I will read the first line. Ruth. Brooklyn, New York, 1919 to 1932. Ruth was 3 years old when her sister was born. Okay, definitely not a 5-star first line. I'm sorry to say. Next is Not Our Kind by Kitty Zeldis. This follows two women who are brought together during a traffic accident. I know this takes place just after World War II has ended. So these two women end up chatting. It turns out that Patricia's 13-year-old daughter, who is a difficult daughter, or she's recovering from polio. She needs a private tutor at their Park Avenue home. And Eleanor just happens to be a teacher. Eleanor is also Jewish, and they live in a home or an apartment building where it's restricted and Jewish people aren't allowed. Is that even a thing at this time? Anywho, she ends up meeting the brother, Tom, and there is like a romance between them. And so it's about her Jewish heritage coming out, I'm assuming. It sounds really difficult and kind of dramatic. Okay, let's read the first line. 1. The yellow and black checker cab nosed its way down 2nd Avenue in the rain. Not a 5-star first line. Okay, moving right along. The rest are all from Value Village. I did some real damage, guys. So I'm taking a real chance on an author I haven't read. I have 2 of her books here. Let's start with how they've come out publishing wise. The first is The Other Woman by Sandy Jones. I keep hearing really good things about Sandy Jones, so I thought I'd try. So this follows a girl named Emily who's fallen in love with a man named Adam. Everything's great in the relationship until she meets Adam's mom, Pammy. First of all, Pammy, what about just Pam or Pamela? Come on, Pammy. Anyway, so her mother, or his mother, I should say, Pammy, does not like Emily at all and will stop at nothing to have Emily gone. It sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. So let's read the first line of The Other Woman, prologue. She looks beautiful in her wedding dress. Okay, not 5 stars at all. Okay. The Half-Sister is next. This is also by Sandy Jones. And did this just come out in 2020? I feel like it's a brand new release. It is. It came out in 2020. So this follows sisters, Kate and Lauren. They get together for lunch every Sunday, and they do this, especially without fail, after losing their father very suddenly, it seems. But there's a knock at the door that changes everything. A young woman by the name of Jess is standing there holding a note in her hand with the result of a DNA test saying that she's their half-sister. And they have to get to the bottom of this. Did their father have a double life? What in the world? So let's read the first line of The Half-Sister. This is Kate. Kate sees the familiar nameplate on Dr. Williams' office door and feels a knot in her stomach. Okay, not 5 star, not a 5 star. That's okay. It's gonna be fine. So the next is House Girl. This follows 2 girls, Belinda and Amma. So Belinda, I should mention, it takes place in Ghana and also London. So Belinda apparently knows how to follow the rules. She knows how to do everything kind of perfectly, from polishing water glasses to washing and folding handkerchiefs. And then we also follow Amma, who is sick and tired of the rules. She is, getting straight A's at her boarding school and everything, but she's no longer really outgoing and the vivacious person that she was raised to be. So when Amma's mom and dad come and pick her up, they meet Belinda on the visit home, and these 2 girls are kind of brought together, kind of reluctantly, and it's about, I don't know if a friendship forms or what. Okay, so let's read the first line. December 2002. The coffin was like a neat slice of wedding cake. Ooh, I like that first line. I don't know if it's 5 stars, but that is really beautiful writing. I like that. So that's House Girl. Next is another historical fiction book that actually just came out in 2020. I've had some real luck at Value Village. I don't know what's going on, but I love it when people read a book and then just pass it along. Thank you. This is The Brothers of Auschwitz, a novel of hope and heartbreak. This follows brothers, shocking, Dov and Yishak. They live in a small village in Hungary, but then the war comes and changes their lives forever. The Nazis arrive and tell them that they have 1 hour before they will all be boarding a train to Auschwitz. And we're obviously following their story, and we flash forward 60 years later. From the safety of their living rooms in Israel, these brothers break their silence to a friend. And it sounds incredibly heartbreaking. I looked this up on GOODREADS while I was there because I'd not heard a lot about this before. And it had like well over 4 stars, 4-star rating. So I snatched it up right away. Okay, prologue. Israel, 2001, 7:30 in the morning, and it's freezing. I'm huddled in a heavy black coat on the Beit Yehoshua railway platform. Okay, not a 5-star first line, but it still sounds really good. Okay, moving right along. I was so excited when I saw this. First of all, the cover. City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. Look at this gorgeous cover. Amy Poole would be so proud of me right now. Oh my gosh, I miss Amy's videos. She hasn't posted in a while. So this is an Elizabeth Gilbert book. This follows a young woman. She's 19 years old, Vivian, and she's just been kicked out of a college that she was in 1940. So she ends up going to live with her aunt, Peg, who has a really big role in the arts community, and Vivian gets involved. I don't know if she becomes an actor herself or what happens exactly, but we read from her perspective. I think she's now 89 years old, and she's telling her story at last. And I really love those stories where it's an older woman or man telling the story of their lives, and it's just meant to be really, really good. I'm very excited to read this. This is City of Girls. Okay, let's read the first line. New York City, April 2010. I received a letter from his daughter the other day. Okay, no, not a 5-star first line, but I'm still very eager to read it. Next is a thriller that I'm taking a gamble. I don't know, but we'll see. This is The Guilty Party by Mel McGrath. I've never read Mel McGrath, have you? But I picked this up because Liz Nugent on the back apparently loved it. She said, it's a deftly plotted novel of unraveling friendships and secrets. And it says that on a night out, 4 friends witness a stranger in trouble. They decide to do nothing to help. Then a body is found. And that just sounds fun. That just sounds fun to me. So let's read the first line. Cassie, 2:30 a.m., Sunday, the 14th of August. Wapping? I could be saying that wrong. Okay. I'm going to take you back to the summer's evening near the end of my friendship with Anna, Bo, and Dex. It's like a 4-star first line to me. Because why did the friendship end? Obviously, because a body was found. And they didn't do anything. Sounds like so much fun. As you guys know, I adored the Dutch House this year. I really want to get more into Anne Patchett's writing. She's just stunning. So when I saw this, I picked it up. Now this is nonfiction, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's nonfiction. This is the story of a happy marriage. I love the cover of this so much. So it's nonfiction and a collection of essays. And it says, the actual happy marriage, which was one thing she felt she wasn't capable of, ultimately proves to be a metaphor as well as a fact. Patchett has devoted her life to the people and ideals she loves the most. I don't know. I think it sounds really interesting. I really like her. She's a very interesting kind of character. So let's read the first line of This is the Story of a Happy Marriage. Ooh, how cute. Okay, nonfiction and introduction. The tricky thing about being a writer or about being any kind of artist is that in addition to making art, you also have to make a living. I like her. I will read anything by Ann Patchett at this point. I just think she's phenomenal. Not a 5-star first line though. Oh. Okay, next is a nonfiction book. I seem to be collecting these spy books, and I'm a bit nervous now because I really didn't like Codename Lee's, but I'm taking a gamble with Ben McIntyre. This is another Ben McIntyre book now. I have 2 of his on my shelf, so we'll see. This is Agent Zig Zag, a true story of Nazi espionage, love, and betrayal. So this follows a man named Eddie Chapman. In his life, he was a charming criminal, a con man, and a philanderer. And he, in 1941, was recruited to become a German spy in occupied France. And so his instructions were he was going to be parachuted down into Britain. And he was meant to go and like blow up a factory, an airplane factory. But instead of doing that, he reached out to the MI5, the British Secret Service, and he worked as a double agent instead. Which I just think it's so amazing, because I would do so poorly as a spy. So these stories just seem so fascinating to me that people could do this and like maybe even survive. I don't know. Okay, let's read the first line of the prologue. 2:13 a.m. December 16th, 1942. A German spy drops from a black Focke-Wulf reconnaissance plane over Cambridgeshire. I have never struggled saying a first line so much. What just happened? Maybe I've been filming a long time. This is my second video of the day that I'm filming. So that's probably what it is. I wouldn't say it's a 5-star first line, but okay. Okay, last but not least is a mystery that I have heard only good things about this. This is The Widows of Malabar Hill by Sujata Massey. This is a mystery of 1920s India, and it's beautiful. Look at this. I'm so excited about it. This follows a young Indian woman in 1921. We follow Praveen. She is the daughter of a very respected family, and she's just joined her father's law firm. So they have been asked as a law firm to go through the last will and testament of a man named Omar Farid. He's a wealthy Muslim mill owner who's left behind 3 widows. All 3 of those widows have essentially signed over their full inheritance to a charity. So why would they do that? And these women live in strict seclusion. They never leave their quarters. They never speak to men. Are they being taken advantage of? And she dives into what's going on. It sounds absolutely fascinating to me. So let's read the first line of this. Oh my gosh, there's a map. Yes. Okay, moving on. 1921, A Stranger's Gaze, Bombay, February 1921. On the morning Praveen saw the stranger, they'd almost collided. I wouldn't say it's a 5-star first line, but it does sound really good. So those are all of the books, guys, that I have picked up. Oh my gosh, I just can't help myself. I really need to get more bookcases. I need to, invest for sure. Let me know in the comments below. if you've read any of these and also what the most exciting book that you've picked up in December has been, I'd love to know. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.